and welcome to part 13 of making this slightly larger than miniature hit and miss engine. In this part I'm hoping to make the side cheeks that I've already made. I want to make the bearing caps to fit on to hold the crankshaft main bearings. You can see we've already made the piston, the fancy brass conrod, which is very large, but we hope it'll work. So it's just for the main bearings, the caps, and then hopefully on the milling machine maybe set up the boring bar and have a go boring down through that pair of them clamped together, and then I will face off then. Once I've got the bearings to fit, which are the roller bearings, I will then face off the top caps so that they nip the bearings. And then after that, we've got to actually decide whereabouts on the bottom of here that they're going to be bolted through. Now, my plan was to use two M5 bolts at each side, equaling 4. But in my head I'm thinking, I know it's only 5-to-1 compression, but those flywheels are blooming heavy, and every time this thing fires it's going to be pushing against the base, the forces, and I'm worried about it shaking the bolts loose. So I'll probably put a bridle across the front, a plate, possibly a bridle plate across the back with a single bolt in each, and then they'd pick up on the sides of the main cheeks. Maybe. We'll see how it develops as we go along, but possibly that's something else. And then I'd like to get the side cheeks mounted, because I need to get the crankshaft in to know exactly. We know I need 5.3mm from the face of the cylinder head. Now, as you have known, because you've watched me building this, the cylinder head has actually got a recess on it there, so I need to measure that recess into that bore so that I know where I've got 5.3mm, and then make a mark, and that's where the top of the piston wants to come, and at that I've got 5-to-1 compression ratio. That's the plan. You know what happens to plans, don't you? But that's what we're aiming for. So in this part, I know I'm harping on a lot, but I'm trying to explain what I'm doing, and I'm going to show as much as I can, because I know that quite a lot of my subscribers, you guys, like to watch how it's done, not I'll come back when I've finished it. Here's what I'm going to do today, and I'm going to drill this all, and I'll come back when I've finished it. Oh, look what I've done. I'd like to show what I'm doing, because I'm sure there's loads of guys who would love a milling machine and a lathe. I'm sure there is among you, and you'd want to know how to use it. And I'm only an amateur, and there's a lot of people on Model Engineering Forum that knock hell out of me and tell me how useless I am, pretty much. Not, they don't actually say I'm useless, but I get a lot of stick because I am only an amateur, and some of them guys have been making model steam engines and little gauges and, you know, miniature pistons, not pistons size I've made at 1 inch. I'm talking little dinky ones, and steam chambers and steam valves and forward and reverse, and if you don't get your timing correct, the thing won't go into forward or reverse. You've got to give it a throw, and that's wrong, because my mate used to build them and he told me that. So I'm harping on again, but I like to show what I'm doing and what I'm doing, because it's not a bad way that I'm doing it, it's just possibly not the correct way. And although there's a lot of guys on Model Engineering Forums say, you've done that wrong, that's not how you do it, you do this, you do that. But at the end of it, it works. And I'm trying to build this thing on the cheap, because I'm a cheapskate, yes, but because I wanted just to see how much you could actually build one for. The size of this one that I'm doing are available. There's 2 in America that sell these, and they're $600 and odd. I've already said this on one of the parts. The $600 and something, and then you've got shipping to UK and VAT, import duties, all the rest of it. You're probably talking over £1,000 to build one of these in a kit form. And I didn't want to do it in a kit form anyway. I wanted to do it, pick up tips and bits and bats, and I've watched tons and tons of videos, and if you haven't, go watch them, of real hit and miss engines. Some of them at the size of this workshop, absolutely huge. Fantastic to watch and listen to and see being fired up. Okay, we've lots to do. With a carburettor to make, a nice silencer to make, there's a timing to do, there's a camshaft to make, and somehow fix to those timing gears. Lots and lots to do, but not in this episode. In this episode, we're going to do what I've already said. Okay guys, thank you, and gals, thanks for watching so far. Right, so off camera, I've actually started working on these caps. I've machined, milled a piece out of there, and then drilled them for the M5 bolts that are going to be for the main caps. So I've got to then match these up now with the main framework and somehow clamp it and drill through. Right, I've super glued these two blocks onto this. I did Loctite 638, but I waited for ages and it didn't go off, so I cleaned it all off and I've used super glue and Mitabond spray to make it activate quickly. So now I've got my holes to follow through for drilling, but I've made these little plates and I'm waiting for some bolts coming. I'm hoping probably tomorrow, and I'm going to bolt them on the side through that bolt hole just to nip and squash this together so that it probably keep it from moving. I've put a drill bit in, the 5 that I drilled these first holes with, and plunged that through so that I know it's parallel. I'm going to then take that 5mm drill out because this is for tapping down here, and that's 4.2, which is the tapping drill for M5. Okay. So if I come down and then put my 4th DRO on, which you can't see, which is up here, and zero it, I'm now touched off at that, and I need to plunge 20mm. I have to do this 4 times in total. I know you see me plunging in and out regularly, and I'm sure most of you know why, but those of you that don't, it's to get rid of that, the swarf that comes off, to try and break it. They're not exact out these, so you saw it, super glue's let go. What a shame. Okay, I suppose the best thing I can do is take this off, tap the 3 holes I've done, and then bolt that back cap on, and then carry on. That's what I'll do. Yeah, I'm not gonna have room, I'm gonna have to take this out. Move camera back so you get an idea of what I'm actually doing on these on this milling machine, because you're only seeing me bit here. undoing the drawbar, which is not tight. I'm going to withdraw it about 2 millimeters. Then with my copper mallet, I'm going to tap the top of the drawbar. That has now released the taper of the MT2 chuck. Unscrew it and that drops out. Well, that's safe. We now need a collet to take this tap follower, which I've now got, and we need the collet chuck. One collet chuck, it's just an ER25, they do 30, 35, 40. I wish I had a bigger one, but unfortunately this is what I was given when I bought this milling machine, and a set of collets to go with it, so I'm damned to go buy something else, and that's a drawbar thread in the end. So we'll bob that in there, wind the drawbar in, hold it with a spanner, and nip it. It needs to be super tight. Put the collet in, bob that in, put the follower, tap follower in, and what am I doing? Going to tighten it up. Doesn't need to be silly tight really. So that's my tap follower thing, is this, because so what I'll do is bring that down, lock it, and adjust my X and Y till it looks right. I'm going to be in your way for a minute. Yeah, I need to punch these right and left. I know which way round that goes. Okay, so the body, two bolted together loosely actually. I need to nip that back up and put that other bolt back through. And they're going to sit on there like that, which are the caps, which obviously have got to be centreboard yet. Okay, I'm going to loosely assemble them all. I need to drill that hole, don't I? Deeper, is it? It might be just mucking bottom of the hole. Okay, come back shortly. Right, so what I've done, two parallels on the bed, cleaned the bed off, and a nice clean up, clamp on each end, pressing down onto the parallel, and I'm just about to drill a centre hole which will be the centre of that bearing. Okay, so we're going to then, once we're going to have to make the hole bigger and bigger until we can get the boring bar set in. I've not got a lot of experience with this boring bar, so I'm going to have to be very, very gingerly go with it. So I don't do any, I don't want to go too big. If I go too big, it's wrecked and I'll start all over again with this. So I'll bore this hole through first. I'll drop this drill down a little bit. Where have this little brush? Right, so that's the reference hole for the centre of the bearing. Thereabouts. Dropped to 470. One size. I moved the bed, didn't it? Sorry. Catching this clamp again, I think. Yeah. $29.5. I'll do it 3 times. Tapered. Thought it might do with spring in that. Ooh, there's a lot of taper in that. 29.1. .6. Wow, there's a lot of taper in that. out a bit with a vise. Okay, you've seen it here first. Let's have a look what we've got. We've got another 1 hour 20 minutes of video to edit. I'll take it out because we're done with it. So I'll unclamp it and show you better. A lot of time to edit out of this. Where are we? Right, there we go. Some dressing up to do, but yeah, that's tight in that side, although there's a bit of a burr on it. Oh, there's quite a lot of a burr. Yeah, I'm gonna have to dress that up with deburrer, but it won't just drop in that side, whereas with that side it does look. Yeah, that's dropped in, but it won't push through. It's gone tight, look, halfway. Yeah, so this side's going to need a little bit of work on it, but nothing much, which proves the point which I've said is the spring. And I suppose it'll be a cheap thing. I suppose they're all the same. You're bound to get spring in it, aren't you? And that were only in aluminium. Right. I'm going to clear up and decide what's next. Alright guys. Hi again everyone. I hope that you enjoyed that part. I did go on a bit in detail really, and the idea was that you could see exactly what I was doing. So really all we did in this part was to create the caps for the side cheeks to hold the main bearings. We recessed them, we drilled them and we tapped them, we bored the hole through, and unfortunately, and I can even see this by my eye, if I look one way I can see a taper in that bore, and if I look that way it's not. So it is tapered. So this side is fine, this side is not. So that wants a little bit of work. I'll probably use a flap wheel and I'll just run the flap wheel through there, and that'll probably just open it up just enough so the bearing will fit. And then we'll take the caps off, I'll mark them left and right, and then we'll take them off and we'll probably stone them or use some fine emery, just so that when the bearings are in and the caps are on, it nips down onto the bearings. That's all we need to do really. So as you can see, we've now got our 16cc engine like so, and the crankshaft centre of that should be dead centre of that hole. Okay, so the piston is uniform as it goes in and out. We're getting there slowly with lots and lots and lots still to do, but it's coming along nicely, and there's no drawings, there's no measurements other than what I've created myself, and hopefully when it's all finished, we'll have ourselves a little engine that'll go pop pop pop. If you're following this along, please subscribe and you'll get to find out the next bit. I've created a playlist for it, as I have in all my other videos. I've created playlists so that if you're not interested in anything that I'm doing, don't look at that playlist. If you're interested in something like a large bore steady rest for a Myford lathe or a small lathe, have a look at that. If you want to build yourselves a knurling tool, then there's the Hemingways. All you got to do is look at Hemingway's kits and what I've done. That's up there, that's further down, and we've done some nice work, I think. Some people think it's rubbish, but I think it's lovely. Okay guys, so next one will be part 14, where what will we do? We'll probably mount the framework to the body and get the size right for the 5:1 compression, and hopefully then slowly but surely we'll get this camshaft done, the valve lifter for the exhaust, and maybe one day we'll get the thing running. Thanks for watching guys, and thank you very much for your feedback. It's lovely to get feedback, you know, even if you just say, Steve, that's rubbish, or Steve, hey, that's okay. I don't care, just I enjoy doing what I'm doing, and it sort of makes my retirement a little bit more pleasurable, if you like. I don't sit and watch telly all day. I do watch a lot of YouTube videos, and a lot of watch other people's videos like Ed's Workshop, John's Workshop, etc, and Matty. I know Matty gets better soon. We're all doing okay, so let's continue what we're doing and and bring a little bit of entertainment to other people that don't want to sit watching telly all night. Thank you.